I was just with the president in the Oval Office, and I can confirm that tomorrow, the February 1st deadline that President Trump put into place at a statement several weeks ago continues. The president will be implementing tomorrow a 25% tariffs on Mexico, 25% tariffs on Canada, and a 10% tariff on China for the illegal fentanyl that they have sourced and allowed to distribute into our country.
Other countries charge us tariffs. We don't charge them tariffs, and it's about time that that changes.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday will implement 25% tariffs against Canada and Mexico and 10% on Chinese goods.
Tariffs don't cause inflation, they cause success. Was big success. So we're going to have great success. There could be some temporary short-term disruption, and people will understand that.
Earlier, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau vowed a forceful response to any new U.S. tariffs.
We won't relent until tariffs are removed, and of course, everything is on the table.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has said Trump's tariffs would cost 400,000 U.S. jobs and drive up prices for American consumers. Trump's order and retaliatory tariffs from Canada and Mexico threaten to disrupt nearly $1.6 trillion in North American trade, as well as effectively end a 30-year free trade system that has deeply integrated the three economies. The largest sector by far to be affected by new tariffs would be autos and auto parts. Clark Packard of the Cato Institute explains.
The U.S., Mexico, and Canada have pretty tightly integrated supply chains. So the average car made in the U.S. or in the Mexico, Canada, U.S. zone tends to travel across borders up to 8 times. And so if you're imposing a tariff of 25% each time a part comes across the border, or if the whole automobile crosses the border, it's going to get pretty costly pretty quickly.
Mexico and Canada account for more than half of all auto parts exported to the United States. The new tariffs are expected to pressure the bottom line of major U.S. automakers that have plants in Mexico, like General Motors, ultimately raising prices of SUVs and pickup trucks for U.S. consumers. Economists warn the tariffs would also spark major increases in the price of imports, such as aluminum and lumber from Canada, and fruits, vegetables, beer, and electronics from Mexico.
President Trump has said that he is going ahead with tariffs. He's spoken of 10% on China. That's less than the 60% he had spoken of earlier, but still a very high level of tariffs. He's spoken of 25% on Canada, 25% on Mexico. Again, even a fraction of that would be very damaging, not just for those countries, but also for the U.S. The U.S. stands without doubt in a huge trade deficit with China, Mexico, and Canada. Varying figures suggest it could be as high as $270 billion a year with China, close to $150 billion with Mexico, and $60 billion with Canada, though Trump speaks of far higher numbers. He says he's determined to rebalance those numbers, or at least to cut the imbalance, though there can, of course, be a gap between what Trump says and what he does.
For us to be subsidizing Canada to the tune of $175 billion a year and subsidizing Mexico to the tune of $250 billion, $300 billion a year.
It's not all about trade imbalance. Trump wants tariffs also to punish China for slipping fentanyl into the US, an addictive drug 50 times more potent than heroin.
And with China, I'm also thinking about something, because they're sending fentanyl into our country, and because of that, they're causing us hundreds of thousands of deaths. So China is going to end up paying a tariff also for that, and we're in the process of doing that.
So far, it's Trump doing the talking and Trump taking the decisions. Trump appears not to have factored in the level of pushback that is inevitable. China has said that it'll hit back. Canada has said it'll hit back dollar for dollar. Americans live on imports for their everyday needs. Counter tariffs would hurt, but America could get hurt by the very tariffs it itself imposes. These will almost certainly drive up the prices of goods that the US lives on, all the way from groceries to cars and to the world of online shopping. tariffs move is not quite adding up. On the one hand, Trump has said that his aim is going to be to counter inflation, to bring it down. On the other hand, the first thing tariffs will do is to push prices up. It's not clear whether Trump has made the connections or considered the consequences. These will emerge soon enough.
We're on this edge of, is he going to really put the 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, or is it going to be something he postpones if they do sufficiently dramatic, symbolic things on the fentanyl and immigration agendas?